Okay. Good morning, because it's before the lunch, but good afternoon, because now it's afternoon. I am Pere Botella from the Technical University here in Barcelona, UPC Barcelona Tech, and I will chair this session. We have seven speakers, seven presenters. The session will be developed in the same order that is presented here. And each presenter will have 5 minutes. And all the presentations will be made in sequence. And at the end, we will have room for questions. And so if you have a precise question for one of the speakers, please note. And at the end, you will make the question. So some of the speakers will speak in Spanish. I say it because if you need headphones, go for the headphones. And the first speaker is Adrián Latorre de Leo from Altran Innovación.
Tienes aquí esto para ir pasando.
Perfecto. Bueno, buenas tardes a todos. Bienvenidos. Yo les voy a hablar del ciudadano como sensor. Cuando hablamos de Smart Cities, normalmente hablamos de instalar sensores en las ciudades, ¿no? Medir la temperatura, medir el tránsito que hay de una determinada calle. Para ello necesitamos instalar dispositivos, y estos dispositivos que son de distintos fabricantes, luego tienen su protocolo de comunicación y luego hay que aglutinar toda esta información, agruparla. ¿Vale? Para ello, ¿por qué no plantearnos como una alternativa utilizar al ciudadano como un sensor? Dado que todos los ciudadanos tenemos un móvil que tiene muchos sensores, ¿vale? Y podemos utilizar estos sensores para recopilar toda esta información y mostrarla al ciudadano y a la administración para que luego, en base a esa información, puedan realizar mejoras dentro de lo que es la ciudad. Evidentemente, campos de aplicación sobre ello hay muchos. El tema de telecomunicaciones, qué mejor un ciudadano para decirnos la calidad de cobertura de un operador dentro de una determinada zona. Otros temas, el tema de bienestar, o sea, a ver realmente si están utilizando espacios públicos, si están utilizando espacios públicos, transportes privados, etcétera, etcétera. ¿Vale? Para ello necesitamos la recopilación de toda esta información a través de los móviles de los ciudadanos, ¿vale? Y la recopilación a través de estos datos que son anónimos, que esto es muy importante, o sea, en ningún momento podemos identificar o deberíamos de poder identificar un ciudadano. Podemos recopilar toda esta información y mostrarla tanto para el ciudadano como para la administración pública. Para ello lo que necesitamos es la creación de una serie de algoritmos especializados que sean capaces de identificar y recopilar toda esta información. ¿Vale? El objetivo de esta herramienta es que a través del crowdsourcing podamos instalar toda esta aplicación, esta solución dentro de los ciudadanos y esta solución sea la que luego nos brinde toda esta información. Que esta información puede ser explotada tanto por el ciudadano como por la administración. ¿Vale? Y plasmaríamos la experiencia de utilizar al ciudadano o de que el ciudadano sea un sensor más dentro de lo que es la ciudad. ¿Vale? Evidentemente, los sensores que tenemos en un dispositivo móviles son muy amplios, ¿vale? Hay dispositivos o sensores muy básicos como es la localización GPS o localización que podemos saber de un ciudadano a través de trilateración o otro tipo de señales. Y evidentemente también podemos saber la actividad que está realizando el ciudadano, apoyándonos en lo que es el acelerómetro o los giroscopios, podemos saber si esa persona está caminando, si esa persona realmente se está moviendo en un transporte público, está conduciendo un vehículo, etcétera, etcétera. Todo esto es información muy útil. ¿Vale? También se pueden ver, por ejemplo, temas de campos electromagnéticos. O sea, un ciudadano podría saber cuánta radiación realmente estamos recibiendo día a día, ¿no? Nos exponemos continuamente a diversos campos electromagnéticos, ya sea por señales del propio móvil, señales GSM, señales de las Wi-Fi, o cuando estamos caminando que nos acercamos a un transformador, por ejemplo. Todas estas tipos de señales también las podríamos recopilar. Más información que podemos saber, temas de temperaturas, temas de altitud, temas de sonometrías, o sea, poder saber el nivel de ruido que tiene la ciudad en distintas zonas. ¿vale? Y evidentemente el desplazamiento y el comportamiento que tiene el ciudadano dentro de la ciudad. O sea, podremos saber si se está utilizando un determinado espacio público o no, o qué grado de utilización tiene, o las autovías, autopistas, calles, cómo se mueve la población dentro de lo que es todo el ecosistema de la ciudad. Para ello, en Altran hemos desarrollado una solución, ¿vale? Que por un lado es una solución que se instala en el móvil, que puede ser tanto una aplicación como un componente que se puede instalar dentro de otras aplicaciones de la administración pública, ¿vale? Para que sin ser intrusivo y consumiendo muy poca batería, esto es uno de los aspectos más claves que tiene la solución, que realmente el consumo de batería es muy bajo, pueda recopilar toda esta información que tiene el ciudadano, que recibe el ciudadano a medida que se va moviendo por la ciudad, para que luego periódicamente la envíe a un módulo que hemos llamado Crowd Analytics, que es el que recibe toda esta información de los ciudadanos, la recopila y la explota, ¿vale? Aquí, en esta explotación, a través de técnicas de Big Data, podemos llegar a identificar patrones de comportamiento que tienen los ciudadanos dentro de la ciudad, podemos ver mapas de calor, podemos ver el grado de cobertura que hay realmente dentro de una ciudad, o comportamientos en general, o datos de temperaturas, etcétera, etcétera. Evidentemente esta aplicación la hemos desarrollado multiplataforma, más allá que en determinados móviles, en determinadas tecnologías es más fácil o menos fácil disponer de determinada información, ¿no? O podemos acceder o no a determinados sensores de los que son los móviles, pero bueno, es una aplicación, una solución realmente muy integral que se instala en el ciudadano y que luego permite explotar toda esta información, que la puede compartir tanto el ciudadano, la puede ver el ciudadano, como lo puede ver la propia administración pública para mejorar lo que es la ciudad. Vale, muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you very much. Next speaker will be Héctor Varela from Eptisa, and the presentation will be also in Spanish.
Hola, buenos días a todos. Me gustaría en esta presentación tratar de transmitirles una idea que, aunque tiene un título muy largo, es una idea sumamente sencilla y que seguramente entenderán. Se trata de un caso en el cual la agregación de dos elementos genera un valor agregado superior al que tendrían las partes, ¿no? Estos elementos serían, en primer lugar, el modelo de gestión que se está implantando en las administraciones públicas, importado del sector privado, que es el cuadro de mando integral. El otro elemento es la contratación de servicios públicos al sector privado a través de contratos en los cuales el abono se produce bonificado o penalizado en función del cumplimiento de unos criterios de calidad, y el elemento aglutinador que permite agregar ambos pues es el marco de las nuevas tecnologías que proporciona Smart Cities. Todo este conjunto pues con esta agregación podemos conseguir pues una serie de ventajas y beneficios en la gestión de las administraciones públicas. Teníamos, en primer lugar, el modelo de gestión basado en el cuadro de mando integral, en el cual se establecen una serie de objetivos, los cuales tratamos de medir y seguir en base a unos indicadores de calidad que se establecen en función de habitualmente 4 perspectivas: una financiera, otra de otra de clientes o ciudadanos en este caso, otra de proceso interno y una última pues de aprendizaje y conocimiento. Estos indicadores pues tratan de medir cuál es el cumplimiento de esos objetivos, en qué grado estamos y cómo estamos avanzando. El otro elemento del que hablaba es la contratación de servicios públicos al sector privado con sistemas de pago basados en un abono en función del cumplimiento de los criterios de calidad. Bueno, el concepto básicamente es que muchos de estos indicadores de calidad que podemos aplicar en el cuadro de mando integral son trasladables directamente a estos contratos de servicios públicos, en algunos casos con éxito, en otros casos con mayor éxito. Por ejemplo, en el caso de clientes o ciudadanos, está bastante relacionado con el ciudadano como sensor, como comentaba Adrián. ¿Y cómo se aglutinan? ¿Cuál es la parte más sensible de todo este proceso? Pues el seguimiento de los indicadores y la medición. En este sentido, el valor añadido que proporciona la sensórica y el Big Data y la importación de datos en el ámbito de las Smart Cities, pues es el que nos permite pues, hacer un seguimiento en tiempo real y tratar de obtener esos indicadores tanto para el seguimiento de los objetivos como para el abono del contrato de servicios públicos. En definitiva, se tratan de dos elementos que actualmente están desarrollando dentro de las administraciones públicas que en el marco de las Smart Cities pues, pueden generar un valor añadido bastante superior. Existen una serie de ventajas en este proceso y una serie de dificultades también. Dentro de las ventajas pues tenemos la eficacia que proporciona el sistema, puesto que se van a orientar los objetivos de la administración con los objetivos del sector privado a la hora de prestar el servicio. Tenemos también la ventaja de obtener un conocimiento profundo de cómo se está prestando el servicio público. Tenemos también la ventaja de que nos estamos orientando hacia la satisfacción del ciudadano en la prestación del servicio y que proporciona un modelo de gestión claro en el cual se va a prestar el servicio de una forma integral. ¿Qué dificultades tiene? Pues yo creo que las dificultades más importantes de este proceso es que es necesaria una reflexión por parte de las administraciones para saber cuáles son sus objetivos. También hay una dificultad añadida, que es el compromiso de cuáles van a ser los indicadores que permitan medir esos objetivos. Y existe uno último, que es el de rigor, puesto que se va a proceder con esos indicadores al abono de un contrato. En fin, se trata de una idea en el cual dos conceptos que se alinean en la búsqueda de un servicio público más eficaz y más sostenible. Muchísimas gracias.
Okay, thank you very much. We have still 23, 22, 21 seconds. Next speaker will be Kehoe from IBM in Ireland. I hope this okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Kehoe. I'm the Senior Global Product Manager for Smart Cities in IBM. IBM has been in this space for many, many years, and we see it under three specific areas. We instrumented, interconnected, and intelligence. And clearly we are not instrumented companies. There's some great companies outside, such as Siemens and Schneider Electric, that do this very well. And likewise, companies that do the interconnected very well, like Cisco, which we partner with in many different locations. But really, we bring our expertise to bear in the space of intelligence, because we see cities are data rich and information poor, and we can analyze this data to make places safer, better, cheaper. So I'm going to show you some of the secret sauce IBM has used to build smart cities. We see patterns emerge all the time from many different environments, be it manufacturing, be it public safety, transportation, water, where a lack of situational awareness doesn't give the full operational picture, where limited intelligent response doesn't deliver what is needed from the problems that we've seen in the environment. Disconnected incident management and cross-communication in the departments are all fundamental problems we see in large, complex organizations. And one of the latest impacts to drive our businesses and drive our cities to make them more complex is big data. Data generated from social media analytics and video analytics, and then data also generated from prediction systems. But we at IBM do have a solution and have implemented many solutions worldwide, which I'll talk about towards the end of this presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit about this curve. This is a standard curve in large, complex organizations. And I don't think I have to use this slide anymore for what I saw today at the presentation. Or in the 70 years ago, we would have no cockpits in planes, and we would look out the window to figure out where we're going, and look down to figure out how high we were flying, and we'd look around to see additional navigation. Contingency theory. Whatever is the best thing to do, do it. But we evolved into fusion centers, where we brought people in one place, and they all brought the systems but didn't bring the connections. And they would talk and figure out. This is cities of today. So cities are probably halfway up the curve. But this is an expensive way of doing things. 2 flight engineers is an expensive way of flying a plane. But also, the data we generate on modern flights will overwhelm flight engineers. So suddenly big data and cost of running systems became cost prohibitive. and we developed fly-by-wire systems. This is a constant curve. Banks are quite far up this curve. Manufacturing is quite far up this curve. Cities will go up this curve for the main simple reasons: cost and complexity. And that's what smart cities is all about, moving from a fusion center to intelligent response. So we've done this in quite many cities, and here's an example of just 6 cities from the worldwide. Let me talk to you about Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade, we saved them over $1 million last year in water management, because they knew they had to look after their parks and recreations throughout their state. And they had water leaking, they had maintenance optimization issues, and they also had reports from the general public. So they combined social media, observational analytics. They also had to look at, if I increase the water pressure, I'll move more water to locations, but I will also have larger leakage, because you have pressure leakage as you increase pressure. So they had to optimize what pressure versus volume of water they had to move around. So suddenly their environment became awful complex. And they had the data, but they didn't have the information. So IBM came along and worked with our partners and worked with the experts and said, what are you doing today and what do you want to do? So we started to look at water leakage prediction systems. We looked at optimization of response and maintenance. We looked at social media analytics in the way people report. We brought this together, and from there on out, through the savings of energy, of water itself, which is a very expensive commodity, and also the optimization workforce, Miami-Dade today have saved over $1 million. And I was very happy that a gentleman from Chile came to me yesterday and said, I'm in charge of the parks and recreations in Chile. We lose water. Would you be able to help us? It's the fastest conversation I've had at this event. Within 15 minutes, I'm setting up with Tom Davis, who is his counterpart in Miami-Dade in Florida. So as well as we connect and show examples. So finally, we did this using another secret source. We could leverage information to anticipate problems, because a problem that you can anticipate is the best problem you can have. And of course, to coordinate resources so you can get the best return on investment, the most intelligent response. So we built systems, and you're more than welcome to join us on our IBM booth, and we can show you examples of our systems and our solutions. So thank you for your attention today.
Okay, thanks very much. Next speaker is Danon from I don't know if you say SAP or
SAP.
In Spain we say SAP.
It's okay. Good morning, everyone. In a nutshell, I will present the framework of SAP for smarter cities. It will be a really nutshell because it will be followed by a breaking video as opposed to another slide. So our can you hear me? Yes. Our smarter city program is called SAP Urban Matters. And basically, essentially, we come usually where the vision is more or less defined, or the smarter city vision is more or less defined by the city, and now there comes in the question how to execute from an application perspective, software perspective. So most cities today have their own smarter city vision. Question is, okay, what now? How do we deploy it? Essentially, our solutions are coming or supporting 10 different focus areas, which according to many analysts are the focus areas where smarter cities need to look into. So it's a public administration, tax and revenue for the money and administration side, HR, internal resources, but also the people side, in the city, education, welfare, healthcare, public safety, and infrastructure. So actually what we're doing here, we have industry solutions within 25 different industries, and we're funneling all of this huge immense of investment and development effort, best practices, bringing this into the local government and local and regional government market and our customers. Actually, we're focusing in 5 pillars, where they would be in each one of those areas where we transform the way business is being done. So good governance, which is around optimizing resources, containing costs, fraud management. Innovative services, citizen services. Listening to the most important stakeholders you have. Could be citizens, could be businesses. Communicating to them, listening to them. user empowerment, every type of user, employee, any data from everywhere, and urban resilience. Without resilience, safe cities, sustainable cities, nothing would work actually. Nothing would, the city would not thrive. And this is, in a nutshell, the heart of our SAP Urban strategy. It's 5x5, we call it. So the 5 pillars we've seen, enabled or supported by our 5 technology categories. Analytics, based on what used to be business objects acquired by SAP. Applications where you have the CRM on the one hand, but also the industry solutions, the ERP and other components on the other hand. Mobility platform. Cloud, SAP is moving heavily into the cloud. Success factors for HR, Ariba, SRM, and so on and so forth are part of SAP today. Technology and database in memory, in memory device named HANA. And this is a 5x5. And then when we approach cities, so we are understanding, listening to their strategy, and then we come up with different applications and solutions to support the strategy, either built in or based on the platform. And here's a couple of examples for the video.
As a principle is about a commitment to ensuring that citizens, the private sector, civil society, and government itself has a full understanding of what's going on inside the halls of government so they can actively engage in the process of governing.
If you look at best run cities, it's a city that co-creates and collaborates, not just with itself, but with its citizens and other partners.
We don't believe that incremental change is enough anymore. We think that government needs to truly be transformed.
The Center for Technology and Government at the University at Albany is an applied research center. Our interest is looking at how governments are using technology. The Open Government Program in the city of Edmonton, I think, is a really classic example of an effort to investigate in a really careful way what matters most to the citizens of Edmonton. The city began to understand that helping citizens navigate the city, understand when a project would start, when it would end, was really quite important to them.
We do a lot of work from an open data and open government perspective. Our Office of Traffic and Safety takes that data and they redesign intersections because they know, based on the information, what's dangerous and what's not. They've tracked how there's been fewer collisions, fewer accidents, fewer fatalities, and actually some cost savings as well.
I think what Edmonton did was provide a really good example of good data management paired with a very salient issue that citizens care a lot about. So they put those two things together and they had a natural win.
We had a program that we called Boston About Results. We were implementing better source data systems. That's when we landed on the SAP strategy management tool. This was really a complete overhaul of the technology that supports performance management in the city of Boston, and leveraging the technologies of SAP, we were able to really change how the departments use these tools and really improve how our citizens see City of Boston performance. You can come in powered by that SAP strategy management tool and the web interface that we have built. You can go there and see how's my city actually performing? How are those taxpayer dollars really being spent?
The Center for Technology and Government has recently partnered with SAP to produce a white paper called The Dynamics of Opening Government Data. SAP has been a critically important partner in the work that CTG is doing with respect to open government thought leadership, in particular because of the vision that they had and the commitment that they have in terms of ensuring that governments have the tools to make good choices about their investments.
So just a couple of examples how we connect 5x5 to open government concepts and specific applications to support it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. The next speaker will be Jordi Garcia Brustenga from Prysma, Calidad y Medio Ambiente.
Hola, buenos días, buen día. Yo soy Jordi García Brustenga, soy gerente de consultoría de Prysma, una empresa española de consultoría y auditoría. Vengo a presentaros hoy un modelo en el cual, si tenemos la tecnología a un lado, negocio o mercado y gobierno, pensamos que la parte de gobierno está menos desarrollada que el resto, que las otras dos, y que sin el desarrollo de esta tercera parte pues no iríamos a ninguna parte o vamos mucho más lentos. Vamos a verlo. ¿Qué vemos en Internet? ¿Qué vemos en esta feria? ¿O qué vemos en nuestras ciudades cuando hablamos de Smart City? Vemos este tipo de imágenes. Edificios, sensores, calles, coches, todo este tipo de cosas, infraestructuras. Falta alguna cosa aquí. Yo creo que falta gente, ¿no? Nosotros. ¿Esta gente qué es? Primera cosa podemos decir, es un mercado, o un nuevo mercado, ¿no? Pero esto es correcto, ¿no? ¿Qué más es aparte de mercado? ¿Es una muestra para unas pruebas, piloto de una nueva tecnología? También, yo creo que también. Pero sobre todo es la finalidad de todo esto, ¿no? Es el sujeto soberano de la ciudad. El alcalde o alcaldesa de esa ciudad debería explicarnos por qué está optando por Smart City. ¿O qué ganamos la gente, cada uno de nosotros, con el Smart City? Y esta conversación no la encuentro, así como encuentro la conversación sobre tecnologías o sobre mercado, que la encuentro tan importante igualmente, ¿no? Nuestro modelo. Por un lado tenemos los proyectos públicos y privados de Smart City. Todos lo conocemos, vayas a la ciudad que vayas, cuando voy con mis proyectos de consultoría, encuentro proyectos. Esto está en todos sitios. La segunda fase, segunda parte, sería la plataforma de datos abiertos. El Open Data ya está en muchas ciudades, no en todas, pero ya han visto que multiplican su efecto si abren los datos y otros también hacen sus proyectos. No solo los 3 o 4 que puede hacer el municipio, sino que están todos trabajando en la misma plataforma. Pero en esta tercera ya encuentro muy pocas ciudades que tengan una política o un plan de Smart City. O sea, que expliquen cómo liga, cómo encaja su estrategia de ciudad con la estrategia de Smart City. Esto es mucho más difícil de encontrar, pero está mucho menos maduro que las otras partes. Y aún hay una cuarta parte, que es el sistema de gestión de Smart City. O sea, cómo nos organizamos o cómo asegurar que una ciudad es smart, aunque todos lo digan, no sé si todas lo son. Hay un responsable, hay unos criterios, hay unos objetivos, hay una mejora continua. Aquí ya tenemos un medio trabajo hecho en el Comité de Normalización de AENOR, que ahora mismo existe en base en Madrid con el Ministerio y la FEMP, para intentar hacer un estándar que sea certificable y que uno, cuando quiera ser Smart City, tenga que tener este sello externo, ¿no? Finalmente, ¿cómo encaja? O sea, ¿cómo podemos avanzar en este encaje entre la estrategia de Smart City y la estrategia de ciudad? Ponemos un ejemplo. Estrategia de ciudad tendríamos, por un lado, economía, competitividad. Pues el alcalde dice, para estos 4 años quiero turismo de calidad, quiero desarrollo de un nuevo ámbito de especialización, que será Smart Textile, y quiero sostenibilidad del comercio local, porque donde tengo más gente ocupada o donde podríamos ocupar más gente. Por otro lado, en mi plan de mandato digo que no quiero exclusión social, que quiero acceso a servicios globales, que quiero corresponsabilidad de los ciudadanos en asuntos públicos y quiero uso generalizado de las TIC. Esto es el plan estratégico que hemos visto economistas en ciudades que se hacen cada 4 años, que se siguen. Esto por un lado. Por el otro lado tenemos la estrategia de Smart City. La estrategia de Smart City, pues podemos hablar de infraestructura, que queremos hacer accesibilidad TIC para todo el municipio, energía y medio ambiente. Esto es un ejemplo, que sería gestión de residuos. Estos 4 años vamos a enfocarnos a esto. Y gobierno y movilidad, pues avanzar en administración electrónica y datos abiertos. Esto es otra estrategia. Hasta ahora yo no he visto que vayan ligando unos objetivos con los otros. Y para mí tiene falta de sentido. Para un ciudadano, ¿qué le explicas? ¿Para qué? Entonces, aquí ponemos el primer ejemplo. Sería, esta accesibilidad TIC la voy a enfocar a turismo de calidad, a no exclusión social y acceso a servicios globales. Aquí ya tiene mucho más sentido, porque te voy a valorar tu proyecto de accesibilidad TIC según qué turismo de calidad consigamos, según la exclusión social si ha bajado y sobre el acceso a servicios globales. O sea, si el ciudadano usa pues un mercado global en vez de un local. Entonces, esto empieza a enfocarse mejor, ya tiene más sentido. Y lo mismo con otros, gestión de residuos y con administración electrónica. No sé si con esto tenéis suficiente ejemplo pero la idea es que si no desarrollamos, evolucionamos esta parte más de gobierno, de políticas públicas, lo otro, la empresa y la tecnología se cansará y se irá a otra ciudad. Por lo tanto, avanzamos en esta línea y contar con Prysma. Gracias.
Okay, so next is, Roberto de Bonis from Telecom. Here is it.
Okay, good morning. I work for Telecom Italia. Telecom Italia is the incumbent telco operator in Italy. We have around 80 million mobile customers in Europe and South America, and 15 million in Italy for fixed lines. Since we are in Spain, we are getting more and more Spanish, since there is an acquisition in progress by Telefónica. Coming back to smart cities, I just wanted to share with you an analysis we've made trying to understand if the infrastructure for smart metering could be used also for other smart city services. If you took any of the very nice picture concerning smart city, you will probably find the silos concerning energy, probably smart grids, smart metering. But the state of the practice says that the big rollout of smart metering projects do not include other types of smart city services. Okay, going to the technology, you can choose when you want to make wireless networks, you can choose among very different types of wireless network standards. Depending on if you want to have more range, or maybe you have to require more throughput, or maybe more reliable communication, you can choose many of these. But if you're trying to look to a technology, trying to find a good trade-off for all types of services, it becomes even more challenging. I'm referring to a real case in Italy where there will be a big rollout of smart metering for gas. In that case, the technology that has been chosen is wireless bus mode N, which means 169 megahertz as a frequency. Here is the simple architecture. So basically, you will have a smart meter gas equipped with communication capability, and a data concentrator in the neighborhood sending back the data to the backend systems. The analysis and measurements that we've done was trying to understand if this kind of architecture could also work out for including other services, like, for example, water metering, heat cost allocator metering. So in that case, the concentrator really becomes a multi-utility concentrator. But even further, if we can also try to use the same infrastructure for other services more typical in the smart city area, like waste management or parking or whatever. Okay, since the protocol is a narrow band protocol and the long range, we knew the end of the story from the beginning. So of course, as soon as you get more services in the same network, it becomes crowded, and you will find probably network jams, and so the quality of the communication decays very rapidly if you increase the number of services or if the sensors communicate very, very often. But we still think that you have to find a good trade-off and try to reutilize the same infrastructure for reducing costs, because in this matter, there is very few money, the infrastructure is very expensive, the margins are very low, so it's crucial to reuse something. So our experience, what says is that probably the infrastructure will be something more complex with an hybrid architecture, probably at least two different types of frequency or communication technologies, and this needs more infrastructure, so more cost, but there is still a kind of synergy among the services, so you can share part of the infrastructure, which means reducing costs. Okay, coming to the conclusions, as I said, it's very challenging to trying to find how to reuse the infrastructure, but the smart metering represent a terrific opportunity to create a common infrastructure, since the governments are requiring that, so it's something that is going to be done. There's no doubt about it. So since this infrastructure will be made in place, the only thing we can say is trying to reuse the same infrastructure for other types of services and trying to boost, at the end, the smart city services. If you need more information, just you can contact me. Okay, thank you.
start. So the classical principle of ladies first has been broken in this session. So finally we have ladies. Now it's Catarina Selada.
Thank you. I'm Catarina, and I work at the Cities Department at Intel in Portugal, and I'm going to speak about an intelligence tool that we have developed called the Smart City Index Portugal. So the objective of this work is to develop and apply a Smart City Index to a sample of Portuguese cities. This is in fact an intelligence tool, and it was developed by Intel. Intel is an innovation center located in Lisbon, in Portugal, and we promote the development of cities and regions. The other objectives are, of course, to produce information, to produce knowledge, to support policy-making processes, but also to promote the development of smart cities, smart regions, and to promote the development of projects in cooperation. What about the methodology? Our methodology is composed of 5 dimensions, 21 critical success factors, and also 80 indicators. The 3 central dimensions are innovation, sustainability, and inclusion, here social and cultural inclusion, and the horizontal dimensions are governance and connectivity. For example, in the area of sustainability, we have analyzed energy, water and waste management, buildings, mobility, air quality, but also biodiversity. What about the sample? We have applied this methodology to the Renner Living Lab, which is in fact the Portuguese Smart Cities Network. We are a living lab integrated by 25 Portuguese municipalities, and Intel is the manager of this network. It's a space for experimentation and testing of urban intelligence solutions in real-life context. We operate under an open innovation philosophy and under a co-creation approach. And it is important to say that yesterday we have signed a cooperation agreement with the Spanish Smart Cities Network, and now we are around 75 cities working in cooperation in the area of urban intelligence. The integrated results, the most visible result of this work is in fact a ranking of cities, and the top performers are Lisboa, Almada, Cascais, Aveiro and Vila Nova de Gaia. Besides the capital of the country, which is Lisbon, we have here cities located in the metropolitan areas and also university cities. I have here just 2 examples of indicators with different sources of information. The first indicator is energy consumption and carbon emissions per capita for the 25 cities, and here the source of information is official statistics, namely the Environment National Agency. The second graphic is related with electric vehicles charging sockets and the annual consumption, and here the source of information is the Smart Connected City Center, which is an infrastructure run by Intel and also by SEIA. Here, this center provides us information, real-time information about electric mobility in Portugal, about the charging points, about users, and so on. What about the conclusions? First of all, local authorities need information, need knowledge to support decision-making processes. Then we have developed this intelligence tool, the Smart City Index, that can be used by public policies, by stakeholders to improve the development of cities and regions. As I said, the top performers are the capital of the country, cities located in the metropolitan areas of Lisbon and Oporto, and also cities with universities. It is interesting to note that we can observe differences in the position of cities according to the different dimensions of analysis. For example, Lisbon, the capital of the country, is the most intelligent city in Portugal according to the ranking, but for example in terms of sustainability, Almada, which is a city located in the metropolitan area of Lisbon, is the front runner. Portuguese best practices are dominant in the areas of mobility and governance, and in fact in 2009 we started to develop the Portuguese electric mobility program. So it is in fact our main areas of intervention, and we have also several companies, several R&D centers working in this area of smart cities mobility. Cities have, in fact, different levels of maturity in terms of smart development, but it was possible to identify good practices in the different cities analyzed. And it is very important to promote the replication of some projects, of some solutions in other cities and in other regions in Portugal and abroad. Finally, these are, in fact, isolated projects, but we have also observed the emergence of some smart city strategies in Portuguese cities. Just a final note, we have here 2 books to distribute. One is related with the Smart City Index, it is in Portuguese, but the other is related with the Smart Cities Portugal Roadmap, which presents the competencies and capabilities of Portuguese companies and R&D centers in the area of smart cities. Thank you.
Okay, so last presentation will be by Pepa Sedo from Mascam.
Hello, I'm going to present you today 4 applications that are all of them operationals that have been carried out under the project APSAT, that is a pseudo project financed by the European Commission in this Euro region program. The first one is the global bus that has to do with mobility on demand, and that is an application that has 3 parts. The part that is in the bus, that is the onboard unit with navigation, satellite navigation capabilities. There is the part of the back office, and also the innovation that has this part in the mobile phone that helps the citizen. In this case, it was school buses to interact directly with the system. So mom and dad knows perfectly where the bus is and if the kids is arriving, or probably in some cases that they are all in the morning in a rush and don't arrive to the bus stop, they could say, okay, I'm going to go to the next bus stop, and in this way my children will arrive on time. So the second application that has been developed in ASCAM together with the company CAT UAV has to do with energy efficiency, and is with a mini drone that makes this thermal analysis and is able to do the 3D modeling, the thermal 3D modeling, and in this way then it could be some works to improve the energy efficiency of the building. In this case, the advantage is that you have this 3D model, and also you could reach the roofs and all the parts of the building. In the same way that in the middle you could see the 3D model in visual camera, we could build the other one. This one also has to do with energy efficiency and is with a fixed wing drone, also a small one, that it could make these orthophotos that could be very, very useful, cataloging and knowing which type of interventions could be done to improve the efficiency, the energy efficiency, and in terms of public lighting. And the last one that has been developed in Portugal with a partner of the APSAT, by a partner of the APSAT project, that is this Clean My City. That is the citizen who has an application also, again, in the mobile phone, and could warn the public administration where an incident has been carried out. It means a container is full, or any waste is in the street or whatever. So in this way, there's not just the responsibility of the authorities who has the city clean. So this is also this allows in the side of the citizen to take its own responsibility and warn. Okay, these 4 applications has in common that all uses this satellite navigation technology and is made available for making these cities smarter. You have here my contact details for any doubt or issue, because at the end, trying to explain you 4 applications in 4 minutes, it's impossible. So if any of you wants any additional detail, just contact me. Thank you very much.
Okay, I wish to thank all the speakers for the excellent presentations and for making my role as chair very easy.